You are now checked in to Stand Up New York Labs. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
No, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me.
Oh, baby, talk to me. Hey, good to be back. Mark Norman here. This is Tuesdays with Stories with my old pal.
Hey, it's Joe List, everybody. Happy to be here.
Woo, good to have you, sir. And boy, oh boy, we got a guy in the hot seat today, a guest, an old buddy, a fan of the show, and I'd say New York's comedy chronicler, if you will. Can I say that? J.L. Kovash.
Sure, I guess you can, and I apologize to all the listeners. I too dislike guests on the show, so sorry, everybody. It'll just be an hour.
Yeah, everyone's least favorite words on Tuesdays with Stories. We have a guest.
Right. We've read your tweets, folks.
It's funny because the show was eventually supposed to be all guest.
Right.
It was going to be 2 or 3 guests.
It was supposed to be a hang.
Like a diner hang.
Right.
But it's just hard to find people as talented as Mark and I.
Well,
that's true.
The thing is, people, when you're going to tweet about how much you hate the guest, don't tag the guest in the tweet. That is a little hurtful.
Because I never search. Do you ever search your name? Do you put your name in quotes?
I do.
TweetDeck has that option, so I get an automatic stream of whatever my name is mentioned.
I see. I never do that because I don't mind people saying I'm the worst, but just don't tag me.
Right.
Well, I mind that as well.
Because you're going to see it anyway.
Yeah. But I don't do the search. Like Jonathan, he'll search and then he favorites tweet. People do the favoriting and the retweeting when people say shit about them.
I feel weird about that. It feels braggy.
I block. I'm a blocker.
Oh, but like if somebody writes a nice thing, do you retweet?
No, I'm not comfortable with that.
I just send a thank you.
Oh, that's
so
good.
if somebody wants to see what I'm thanking them, I guess they can look at it. But I find the retweet of a compliment disgusting.
I agree. Yeah.
Fortunately, I don't get a lot, so it's not like something I have to necessarily.
Well, you will.
It doesn't
tomorrow.
weigh on my mind a lot.
You're going to get some tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, if you step it up.
Well, it's good to have you. Also, you're half black, so that's something.
So my face just got to sort of Italian and stopped.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have half a minority at least.
Yeah, I think your listeners are probably going to look me up and go, I don't know if we can give you the full point, the minority affirmative action point on the show.
It's funny how people go with the look more than anything. You can be 78% Cherokee, and you're like, hey, I'm part Cherokee, and they go, yeah, you look white, fuck you.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's weird. Yeah, my parents, I often tell people, like, my parents, watching them married, I've been a staunch opponent of interracial marriages. Just watching them. There are a lot of slurs, a lot of insults going back and forth throughout my childhood. Yeah, it was a real Spike Lee movie. And still married.
Wow.
Still married, too.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because my girlfriend's African American. She was born in Africa.
Uh-huh.
So I could say the N-word to her if I wanted to, but it's not my cup of tea.
Sure.
Yeah. Smart move.
Yeah.
She would take it well, I bet.
I think she'd be into it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try it during sex.
Maybe I'll try it during sex with her.
Oh, gee whiz.
All right, sorry.
What kind of comedy is that? Your dad must be black.
Yes.
Because the woman's a more powerful seed.
Yeah, and she's Irish, full-blood Irish.
Wow.
My dad's Haitian.
Whoa!
Wow.
That's the real deal.
It's like they took the poorest people of 2 different centuries and just created a failed comedian.
Well, they call the Irish the white N-words.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Oh, jeez.
But see, I like that they slur each other because it just goes to show you can say slurs and not be racist.
Yeah, I gotta still say, though, hearing the N-word dropped in the house still always, as a kid, felt
From
a little
Mom?
worse. Maybe.
Whoa!
Oh, my God. But she grew up in the 60s or 70s, but that was fun.
Well, I've always
Fun.
I've had this discussion. I don't know if you guys know John Moses, comedian.
Yeah.
I've had this discussion with
Moses.
him because his father is married to his father remarried a black woman. He is clearly not in any way half black.
He's a howdy doody.
He's 180% white.
Yeah.
But we had a discussion, and I joked where I was like, you know what? It's one of those things when I see people. I have friends who drop like African American, never say black, never like they toe the line so perfectly, and I go, there's something you're hiding something.
Yes,
right.
You're uncomfortable. Whereas my mom, and I had this discussion with Moses, he made the joke that I then kind of stole because he didn't do it on stage, so I can use it. But it was kind of like, yeah, he or she, they're not going to let their racism get in the way of judging each person individually.
Ah.
So it's like, and I'm exaggerating, obviously, but it's like, I'll still dislike your people, but hey, I'll give everybody a fair shake.
Right. That's like Quinn. Have you read Quinn's book?
I'm leafing.
Oh, it's wonderful.
This is one that just came.
Yeah, the coloring book by Colin Quinn. Go pick it up, everybody. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But he talked about, like, back in the day, there was no PC. It was fair but racist. So, like, the kid cuts in line, and he's like, hey, you're behind the Oriental woman and the colored woman and the gay guy. Get in the back or whatever. You know,
But it's a weird thing, though, because I know my uncle on my mom's side, like, he would go to these Irish bars, and I remember hearing stories as, like, a teenager where it's like, they'll drop N-bombs, just these old Irish dudes, just N-bombs, and then, like, look at him and go, oh, sorry. Because it's like,
wow.
we know you love your nephews.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you been in that situation? Because you don't look black.
No.
So have you been there where you're hanging out with a bunch of dudes and they're just like, so these fucking Haitians or whatever?
Well, I get I hate when people drop the H word. But it's one of those things where,
Higger?
yeah, you goddamn Sylvance. No, it's one of those things where I always feel like, what do I do? Do I say, like, I've heard people say, this one guy one time said, like, yeah, his car was real niggerized.
I've heard that,
And I was like, I'll let it go. Because why? It's like I'm at a happy hour, so you get this choice where it's like, do I make this a thing now?
Right.
And then you go, well, what are you so offended by? And I'm like, well, first of all, do I have to be half black to be offended?
Yeah, you don't have to
Right.
be black to be offended by the N-word.
Right. It's just something a little on top. It's a little extra topping that
Right.
makes me extra offended, I guess.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you'll just have. I remember I'm at a bar. It happens kind of often, relatively speaking. But I'm at a bar and watching basketball, and I'm tall. So this guy comes up to me and he goes, did you play ball? And I said, yeah, a little in college. And he goes, oh, you couldn't make it there? Not black enough, huh? And literally, I was like, first of all, you're a stranger. Why are you bringing up race and my race?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just such a dumb comment. And I said, actually, I am half black. And then it got super awkward. I was like, and now I feel like an asshole making this conversation awkward, but you are completely the jerk.
Right,
in
of
this
course.
situation.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's why I like Malone and Stockton, though. That's what I always tell people, because I'm a Utah Jazz fan and been for 29 years. And I was like, it was nice to see a black guy and a white person getting along.
Yes.
Just so much racial distress in my home.
And they had that
Wonderfully.
great chemistry.
Couldn't win a championship, though.
Oh.
Lost to Jordan and Kerr.
Yeah.
That team.
I concur. Also, what's up with they took the New Orleans Jazz? Utah, the least jazzy place on earth.
Yeah.
That's like the Lakers.
What do you mean?
Although Ryan Hamilton plays a mean trumpet.
The L.A. Lakers were the Minneapolis Lakers.
Oh, is that
Minnesota.
right?
Were they Minnesota or
I didn't know
Minneapolis?
that.
Minneapolis. But I think it's just the Lakers are so cool. Like, if the Jazz had won 10 titles in Utah, I'd be like, yeah, the Utah Jazz, of course.
Right, yeah. They had magic.
Yeah, the and Minnesota Lakers, they get credit for those championships. They keep being like, they were catching up to Boston. You're like, no, you won them in Minneapolis. Fuck you, that's a different team. That's horseshit.
Yeah, well,
Fuck you, Lakers.
now we're the Pelicans. Bagak.
Yeah, but
He's got Davis.
We got Davis.
He's a beast.
Oh boy, we're going off on the sports
Sorry,
thing here.
sorry.
Come on, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's get the ship back between the navigational buoys.
Well, he played ball in Cowell.
Oh, really? Now let me ask you that. You got a scar on your arm. We love when there's a scar on the guest because it feel like it usually leads to a story.
Oh, boy. No.
No?
I had a large unsightly birthmark
jeez.
with hair coming out of it to give the listeners a
Oh,
real
wow.
gross description. They thought it might be cancerous. They took it off. The guy did a horrible job.
Yeah, that's a hack job.
Yes,
that thing
and
looks like it was done yesterday.
It's like,
See?
you know what, I'll take the...
Oh!
It was done when I was 10.
Jesus.
What?
Yeah. I will take the unsightly birthmark over
Yeah.
because you don't have a good story.
Right.
If I had a good story, I'll take another scar.
Right.
Yeah.
You need a shark attack or something.
You got to
Yeah.
make something up.
But it was
I
almost
should.
like your body was trying to go black and you took it out.
That's true.
Yeah.
My mom just said, not on my watch. I don't have all this lack of pigment for you to get shot by a cop one day.
Wait, so now where did you grow up?
The Bronx.
Oh,
What?
wow.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
New York native.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had
That
no
is
idea.
a funny story.
yeah. Get into some of these. I want to hear some
Keyword.
Bronx stories.
Well,
Bronx Tale.
I grew up in Kingsbridge, which it's the 50th precinct, and they call it the 5 Slow because it's not that crime-ridden, but it looks Bronx. Very Latin, elevated subway,
Yeah.
Kennedy Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Bronx-ishness to it. And we're living in a building, and when I was 6, A woman upstairs stabbed her boyfriend in the apartment above us. Stabbed her boyfriend, and my mom said, "Well, I work in real estate. I mean, it's time to use that connection and get an apartment." So we went up to Riverdale, which is where all the Irish and the Jews like fled other parts of the Bronx over the decades.
I know Riverdale.
And there's like a big hill leading up to Riverdale. Yeah. And it's almost like Game of Thrones. It's just like, oh, this will protect us from the other elements.
Yeah.
And so then that was the stabbing when I was 6 was really the end of my Bronx experience. Although a couple Latin kids, one time I was walking a dog with my mom. I walked dogs for money as a kid.
That
like
young?
10, 11.
Wow.
I was tall. I was really tall. Yeah, my mom had to bring a passport to movies with me when I was 9 just to prove I was.
Wow.
Because it was just like, this child is gigantic.
Yeah.
He has to pay the full price. And so I remember these three Latin kids were kind of giving me a hard time with this dog. And my mom came out, and she looked at them, and one of them like flexed his fist because she was like, "What are you doing? Get away from my son!" And she goes, "What are you gonna do? Fucking hit me?"
Wow.
And they just walked away. And I was
Whoa,
like,
man. Irish broad.
No, she's tough as shit.
Yeah.
She once when I was 6. I guess this will be Tuesdays with Story with JL's mom.
Yeah.
Please, we'll get
when
her
I was
in.
6, she used to take me. I never went to a Toys R Us until I was like 11.
Yeah.
It was always Barnes and Noble. Books. And
wow.
and it's really paid off with a failed comedy career.
But you have some crazy degree, right? Columbia.
Law degree from Georgetown.
Wow.
Georgetown.
Yeah.
Where did I get Columbia from? Did I make that up?
Geraldo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we get confused often because both our careers are dead.
Hey,
there it is.
He was my favorite comedian. Then he died, and then I was like, I love Patrice O'Neill, and then he died. So Bill Burr, look out.
Yeah. Look out, Bill Burr.
When I was 6, I was coming out of Barnes and Noble, and my mom bought me like 6 books, and I said, "Oh, but I wanted that one." And nothing gets my mom angrier than lack of gratitude.
Yeah.
And she just started going off on me, like F-bombs, like it was a real blue show in front of
Damn.
Barnes & Noble. And some woman walked by and said, "Oh, very nice parenting."
Ooh.
And she looked at her and said, "Go fuck yourself." And from that day on, I think that's the limit, because at that age, strangers were the scariest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And my mom just told a stranger to
Right.
fuck off. And I was like, I'm never crossing my mother again.
Boy, I love this woman. Her and your dad must have had some good fights. She's calling him the N-word. She's calling strangers to fuck off.
Right.
There's nothing as potent as the N-word, and it wasn't often. It was more like it was the nuclear option, but there was just, it was just bad. Never got physical, though.
Wow.
I never had the courage to take it there.
Yeah.
Did you ever call your dad the N-word?
Only in private.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
In therapy.
Yeah.
Let me do a little therapy right now because you're so laid back. You're like such a nice guy. I don't see your anger kind of comes out through the keyboard almost.
Yeah.
You know, like you're so pleasant.
Well, I've had that happen on the road several times with like MCs or people like at my level who maybe don't work with me a lot, and they go, I remember this happening on a couple of shows where I get "Hey, you're not a dick,"
Right.
and I was like, "Yeah, okay, why? Okay, you're right. I know. Why did you think that?"
Yeah.
And it's like, for some reason, my comedy, unlike like if you're an alt comic, nobody thinks you're a fucking ninja who humps, turtles when you go home.
Right,
Like,
right.
People are just like, no, that's just your act. But for
Right.
me, somehow, I guess because it's like an exaggeration of who I am, people take it as like, wow, he must really hate these things and be cruel to animals and punch women. And
Yeah.
it's like, why do I don't understand why I get that, but
Maybe the size too.
I think so. See, I don't have the thing I'm most jealous of with Goldman is the fact that he could be intellectually intimidating. He's a relatively strapping guy.
Yeah.
Gay. Sorry, that was a tribute to
Oh
you.
yeah.
But he is so friendly on stage. He's so
Right.
likable
Yes.
without
Yes.
being like goofy smile. I'm trying to be likable.
Right.
And I'm always jealous of that, but it doesn't really fit with my material. Like, I couldn't get up there and say some of the things I say and be like, right, everybody? Like
Right,
me. It's
right.
like, no,
Yeah.
just take what I'm saying and enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, but the mom, she's got to be New York bred.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I
Okay.
think the thing about my mom that I've realized is her mother died when she was 9, and she had a younger
boy.
brother, and then her older sister died of cancer when my mom was 21.
Jesus.
So by 21, she lost her older sister, and at 9, she lost her mother. So I think she's just been like, she's tough as shit, and she's like basically partly taking care of my uncle. They have kind of like almost a brotherly, like big sister, like helping hand kind of
Right.
relationship. So I think it's just made her, and then she managed to, and this is one of these things going to therapy for the last few years that I've kind of realized about relationships. They're self-fulfilling prophecies. Like, she went and found it. She could never have a guy take care of her, and yet she only respects hard work. So she found a guy, not to play into stereotypes, but a little bit on the work schedule. A couple years here and there, taking off, kind of thing. And it was kind of one of those things where you're like, well, you shouldn't be with this guy because this isn't what you want, and yet you could never be with somebody who'd take care of you.
Right.
So it's this like codependency kind of. And meanwhile, I laugh. I call him sometimes behind his back Downton Port-au-Prince because he kind of has this aristocratic air. I think he was from money in Haiti, which take that for what it's worth.
Right.
But
About 8,000 a year.
my father's actually Wyclef. No. But it was one of those things where he would say things like, my mom would be like, why don't you make the bed? And this conversation went on for like 20 years because she never stopped working, and he would, work here, not work. And he'd never make the bed. He'd say, that's maid's work.
Oh.
And it's like, yeah, well, man's work is to go out and fucking work.
Right.
And earn the money. And it's like, you can't, as a kid, you can't completely know the entire dynamic of a relationship. But that's, I think, what's fucked me in relationships, I think, in terms of, like, my brother went one extreme, which is, this is hilarious, by the way, right?
Well, what did he do? What is it for a
he's
living?
if I can say, he's an editor with the New York Times.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So I think he went overboard and was just like, he was married at 26, and he just, like, does everything. He doesn't sleep. He just works and takes care, like, helps out with the kids and tries to treat his wife as best he can.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, gross. Whereas my thing is like, I'll meet nice people, and then I'll eventually 2 or 3 years in go, can't do it.
Right.
Because the abyss follows this, the unhappy pairing till death.
Now, do you have a
Right.
girl now?
I started seeing somebody, but nothing. I mean, I had a relationship of like 3 years, which was very topsy-turvy, and recent, like a few months ago.
Oh, geez. Well, sorry to hear that.
That's all right.
Well,
Are you well endowed? I guess you got the Haitian side.
It's all right.
yeah, you got
And
black,
plus
and you're
what,
huge.
6'9",
6'7".
6'7".
It's you know what? It's I've compared my
those
dick
hands.
recently. Yeah, I've compared my dick recently to Kobe Bryant's basketball career because he
boy.
started playing professionally.
Tremendous dick you got.
Your dick's
Not
angry.
his dick,
So your
just his
dick's-
career.
It's
But
a
his career is
rapist?
unbelievable.
Well, no. I said it started like I was very happy with it, but still learning the ropes. And then, like my mid-late 20s, I had the athleticism, the fitness combined with some know-how, and it was in championship form. And I said, now at 36, I'm out of shape, and I just sort of blame whoever I'm with for my problems.
But your dick doesn't change shapes. It's not like past its prime.
And did it rape a woman?
Hey, that's a myth.
That's for Wednesdays with stories. I say that. No, it's shit. But if we're gonna get graphic, it is one of those things like fitness and shit does help in terms of blood flow. If you know
Oh,
what
is
I'm
that
saying.
right?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, good.
When I've had my weight, and normally a few pounds here and there, but I put on in the last 4 years. I got up to 315. I played at 240.
Wow.
Now I'm like 285.
Holy
but 240 is where I should be. So I'm carrying about 40 to 50 extra pounds, and it's
And that covers up the dick too if it's in the belly area. Is that right?
Man, it's I don't know. I just feel like sometimes even when I'm watching porn, I'm like, what happened to you?
Oh, jeez, we got to get you up and at 'em.
I know.
We got to get you back into it.
Let me see it.
Take that, put it on the table. Let's see what we're talking about
Put it
here.
on the glass.
I love a good. That's a rare sound gag.
Yeah.
Tuesdays with Stories.
That was mine.
Here we go.
That was fun.
Anybody got a feather? Okay. All right. Well, I pictured you with just a fucking Cracker Barrel down there.
No, I wish. It's just now I just feel like I should like retire. Like I should go into training for like and just be like, why isn't it like it was when I was 30?
Go into training. Get into training.
I am. I'm getting back into shape.
Jog out. You're going to therapy. I feel like you're on the upswing
Yeah,
here.
and then I'm going to move out to LA, and then if comedy doesn't work, hopefully I'll be back in some porn shape.
Yeah.
When are you moving to LA?
I'm not.
Oh, jeez.
You can't move to LA. You're too New York.
Yeah,
But-
you're a New York kind of guy.
But I remember going to open mics in like 07, 08, and you would show up in because you were I guess a paralegal
Lawyer.
Okay, yeah, you were.
What a waste of a Georgetown law degree to be like, now I'm finally ready to be a paralegal.
I don't know
You
what a
were actual
paralegal is.
lawyer? I have no idea.
I don't know what a counselor is.
I know what
Counselor.
I'm familiar with a parakeet.
Yes, and a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Pair of 2 tickets to paralegal.
What? So you were an actual operating lawyer?
I still am.
What?
My first job out of law school, I was an assistant DA in the Bronx.
Wow, what a gift. That's like a sitcom.
Well, I
Yeah.
love Latin chicks.
Oh, really?
As I like to say, I was a kid in a candy store full of women with kids in the candy store.
Fiery.
No, I just felt like I wanted to go a different path than white or black. I saw how that worked out.
Sure.
So I was like, my girlfriend in college was half Asian. My girlfriend my first girlfriend out of law school was Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I worked as an assistant DA in the Bronx, and then I left that, worked for a firm for a little bit, saved up a lot of money, and said, you know what? I was just on Craig Ferguson. What is it? 6 months till I blow the fuck up.
Right. Yeah.
I got tons of money in the bank. I'll be replenishing that every week.
Yes.
Right.
Before it's all gone.
The Ferguson credit, the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah.
You're on the fast track.
I remember seeing that on TV and being like, oh boy, this guy. And you were handsome.
I was.
Handsome, half black, on TV. That's
Tall.
a formula.
Yeah.
I was.
Asian girl.
Yeah, it was all there. It was all. This is what I wanted to tell your listeners is basically, if not to plug my own podcast, but I assume I can at the end.
Please.
But it's one of those things where I'm like, if you like what Joe and Mark do, but you wish it was coming from a guy whose career is in the shitter, check out my podcast. See how the other half lives.
Right. It's a little more bitter, but it's
Well, maybe
definitely.
actually probably a lot more, which is
Yeah.
why you're how many years in?
I'll be 9 in September.
So you're at a good place, and your career has obviously gone very well.
I got a solid clip going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Joe List is the real. No offense, Joe List is the real hero.
Sure.
I think,
am I?
Because,
Oh, thanks.
Because you are a tribute to sort of perseverance and talent and patience.
That's what I tell everybody, but nobody wants to listen.
No, but you're a very funny comic, and you're now having kind of your year the way you maybe had your was it last year that you did last comic and
Yeah.
you know, and it's
half hour.
right. So you know that's good, and you've been at it 14, 15 years.
Almost, it'll be 16 in October.
Christ,
Wow.
but that's
I'll be 15 in October. Is that right? Yeah, 15 in October.
Interesting.
unfortunately you're the type of person that whenever I go off on the industry, where I'm like. But they do. There's always a couple of exceptions that like fuck up my case.
Yeah, but
What
that
do you
took a
mean? How
while.
so?
Where it's like, hey, they did. Joe List is getting his deserved rewards.
Yeah,
He is-
now, yeah, it took a while.
No, of course, but it's like me. I'm 12 years in, and I had a couple bumps. I've made a lot for myself because I have no management, no anything.
Right.
So I've managed to make some videos that struck up, build a relationship with Corolla, like things like that are of value and of note. But 12 years in, you're like, I don't think it's going to happen. And then it's like, well, Joe, it's happened for
He
Joe
did it.
List.
Yeah, you
and
gotta
he's been at it a
keep
little
plugging.
longer.
It reminds me of that Seinfeld where George goes, if you take everything I've ever accomplished my entire life and now we're down to a couple of weeks, it looks decent.
But I remember when I met you, you were like a drifter. You were a runaway drunk.
What do you mean? I wasn't drifting, though, but I lived here.
No, I mean
was on
like
the road.
you were just you'd call me at noon and be like, "Woo, the sun's out. Let's get some suds."
Well, I had a drinking problem.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
but also you weren't really, you'd be like, I got a gig in Saugus. It pays $100. That'll keep me going for 2 months. Like you weren't too worried. It didn't seem.
No, I was worried on the inside, I think. Freaking out and sad and hated myself and all that business.
And I was like, come to this open mic at the Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do
You
that.
didn't go to a program or anything. You just stopped drinking.
I'm in the program.
Oh, you
yeah,
are? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
But that's all I can say. It's a whole tipsy-topsy, hush-hush business.
All right.
Yeah. But
It's not that one in Malibu where it's like not AA, but you go like with
I didn't go
celebrities.
to rehab, but I masturbate a lot.
Sure.
right.
So I've heard. I'm a listener.
But we talked about it a lot the last episode.
But yeah, I just remember you coming to open mics, talking to JL here. You would be
Me?
you were ripped.
We're
Yeah.
both JLs.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
JLC. And you were ripped, and you had a tie on and a suit, and your muscles were bulging in the white button down. And every time you'd come in, and you were thin, and you had a good head of hair going, and you came in, you'd put your briefcase and your blazer down, and you'd be like, "Who's got the list?" And all the girls were fanning themselves.
Yeah. And back then, your dick was scoring 30 points a game.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I mean, 81 against Toronto.
And
It was having Mark Normand-like
yeah,
success.
sat out most of the fourth, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
There you
Just
go.
let them do the work.
Yeah.
It was an angry dick.
I was actually, I joked with Mark before getting booked for this, where I said, he said, when are you going back on Corolla? And I said, well, I got to figure out, hotel and stuff, because a guy like me can't just. I'm not the friendly, cute type that just gets a random person to go, hang on my couch, maybe we'll fuck. It's like you need. That's the thing about women that are attracted to me, I think, because the two things I am that I can say are funny and very large person. Protect.
Yes.
So it's that. Hey, he makes me laugh and he makes me feel safe.
pretty
but
good.
the people that will run to that sometimes really need safety. And it's like, maybe
Puerto
if you
Rican
want
women.
me on my couch, if you want me on your couch so badly, maybe I shouldn't go to your couch.
Right,
Might be a
right.
bad place to be.
Interesting.
Why, has that come up?
What?
Have you had an incident where you stayed on a woman's couch and she's like, here's a gun, just in case. There's Tyrone's coming after me or something.
Tyrone.
Oh, that's racist, Mark.
My uncle's name is Tyrone.
Mine too.
Tyrone, it's there was I remember, I think Stephen Colbert's middle name is Tyrone.
No kidding.
And then I tweeted the joke about that, and my mom read my tweet and called me and said, it's a county in Ireland.
Oh, no kidding.
And I
Oh.
said, thanks for ruining the joke, Mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You should've-
Tyrone.
I just tend to sometimes, if I'm not proactive in finding a woman, they kind of, I told my shrink, I'm like, I feel like a lighthouse. Like I'm just this tall beacon for troubled boats
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
come to me.
Right.
And then if I don't solve their problems, they blame me for all the problems that pre-existed before I ever showed up.
Yes. You're a lighthouse alone in a sea of industry. What do you got on this papier-mâché here?
Oh, yeah. It's, well, we were talking about race. I thought a funny story was spring break 2001 when I cheated on my college girlfriend.
Ooh,
Hey.
baby. Was it Pauly Shore hosting?
Now we're
Yeah,
talking.
the weasel. Strongest handshake in the business, by the way.
Is that right?
No, it feels like a gay dead fish
Wow.
shaking your
Boy,
hand.
we're going to get stuff for that gay comment.
Well, it is.
The fish aren't
you know,
happy.
I'm saying if a fish had a wrist, it would be limp.
Oh, I see.
That's and dead. That was the handshake. And clammy. So it was really the dream team of bad handshakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was, we were in Panama City, Florida, which I look back on it now and go, what a cesspool.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
Real disgusting.
Gross.
Even as like, and you can imagine, even as a buff 21-year-old like dude who lived in the weight room.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't my scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, not lunch.
A lot of bad scenes in Florida.
It's a
Yeah.
kooky, turned
It's a
around
weird
place.
state.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys have heard this before. It looks similar to a penis.
I haven't heard that bit been done.
Yeah.
More like a net, like a long net. With
Yeah.
a panhandle.
A penis net.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
a,
that could be
condom, a
something.
condom with a handle.
What about fish nets for the penis? Is that a
Well, they got
sexy
that in
look?
the bathing suit. The fishnet holds you up.
No, but like it's like a condom and it's fish. You put it on. It's sick. Girls are into it. Maybe.
Oh.
could be
Not
something.
great for protection, though.
No, it's not for protection. It's just for sexy, like a fishnet stocking, but for your dick.
It might look like a ham and those ropes, when they put those ropes around a ham
Oh yeah, that's right. The ham rope.
and it's popping out of each.
Well, if you're girthy, it'll
Yeah.
really look like real
Give me something.
fucked
I just
up.
want to invent
Yeah.
things to make, not to go off on a tangent here. I want more sexy men. Women have all these sexy things: fishnets, heels, lipstick, whatever, tits. We need
Yeah.
some more man sex things.
I think they like a little scruff.
Scruff, but that's like a thing. Like I want like a thing I can put on,
Aha.
like a fire hat or
Assless chaps.
yeah, some sort of chap
Right.
situation. But girls, I think gays are into that, but I don't think girls are into that.
Right. Maybe.
Girl, I think a big wallet. If you throw
Yeah,
down like
yeah.
a money fold with
Yeah.
like hundreds,
a Costanza.
that gets them real wet.
Yeah.
Right.
Ladies, write in. What can we wear or put on? Because I think everything, a skirt, I see a heel, a flip flop. It's all sexy to me, but I got nothing to put on. I
You like
need
flip
some.
flops.
No,
a
I
woman?
threw that in there, but
Yeah, when I look at a woman when I see a woman wearing flip flops, I kind of just go, "What are you doing?"
well, the battle shoe. That's what I hate. Those things that look like William Wallace.
for
they're all
fucking
Oh,
Spartacus.
yes, the
Right.
Cleopatra shoe.
Well,
I think we might have talked about that already.
They keep getting now they're full knee. Like the ones
Yes.
going around now are full knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
If they go up to the all the way to the top, it might be
Ooh,
sexy
That's
again.
hot. I love a boot all the way up to the puss.
No,
Puss in Boots.
I like just below the knee boot. Once it goes over the knee, it looks like you're
Like a warrior?
like a rapier. What's that one with the sword?
Kobe?
What?
Fencer?
Fencer, yeah,
Yes.
fencer. Did you have a fence?
I did. Well, okay, we'll
like
go
a
off
fencer.
on this
Oh,
story.
yeah.
No, I never fenced, but a guy I went to high school with, he was 1 year ahead of me. He won a silver medal with the U.S. fencing team in 2008.
I didn't know we had a team.
Did you go to Bronx Science?
No, Riverdale Country School.
Okay.
Wow, that sounds tough.
Yeah.
Although they eliminated the day many years ago, so that's good. Because nothing like a country day school.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
Oh wow.
But this guy, he fenced, and he's like in tons of. He's in like a Chase commercial with Serena Williams, and I scream at the TV every time. She's won 21 titles. He fences.
Right.
Why is she sharing the screen with him?
yeah,
Yeah.
there's an article. She gets kind of fucked in the endorsement thing.
Why's that?
Well, I mean, they think it's racism.
Ah.
Well, yeah, of course, because Sharapova, I've often said I think Serena Williams is very attractive.
She's got the body. I'm not crazy with the face.
The face recently has gotten more masculine looking. It used to be a little softer, but I feel like sometimes a woman can get so fit that it starts to get kind of that male angular, kind of like a chiseled appearance, which I don't really. You want a little softer in the face,
square jaw.
But I think she's very attractive. But Sharapova is has been beaten 17 straight times by her, and she's making way more money in endorsements.
Yeah, but I think she's sweet, maybe, I guess. It's definitely some sort of racism involved, but,
it's sad because if it was men, it would be the reverse. Like, it would be, well, this person's a loser. Why would I buy products from this person who's losing?
Yeah.
Interesting. But they go with the looks over it.
These female athletes still not getting a fair shake, I think, in the...
No.
Well, they're just as funny as male athletes. That I'm gonna go on the record right now, and I'm gonna say that. I don't care who disagrees with me.
Right.
They are just as funny as male.
No one enjoys the WNBA, right?
No, and it's like subsidized by the NBA.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. When I see the WNBA, I go, why do other than Serena Williams and the occasional track star, I go, why do women professional sports exist?
Well, it's such a weird thing. This is maybe too much of a leap here, but you take men's two favorite things, and you think it would work out. Like, men love sports, and they love women, but you mash them together, and it's a train wreck.
Brittany Griner.
But I love women's tennis. Women's tennis I actually prefer over men's tennis. Because you get more volleys. Sometimes the men, they're just fucking blasting those serves.
Well, that's why Djokovic is a beast, because he rarely gets aced.
Man, I loved Djokovic yesterday. Sorry, now we're talking about tennis, but we're recording this, whatever. During the final...
This is about my story, Spring Break 2001.
Oh,
we'll get back there. We're going to get back. But just real quick, the Djokovic, it reminded me of these Twitter people that want to write to you that you're a piece of shit. Djokovic, some guy, right, was about to serve, some guy yelled something. Did you watch the final yesterday?
Yeah.
Some guy yelled something, and then Djokovic wins the point, and he turns, he's like... Yes. And he's screaming at the guy. It gave me so much satisfaction.
Yes.
I loved it. He's just staring at the guy like, fuck you. And then he wins, of course, because that's what he does. And he turns back to the guy, and he's like,
Big flex, like real angry.
Fucking, it got me hard. I could have jerked off.
Wow.
There's nothing better than a guy being like, fuck you, and then you just dominate, and then turn back to him like, you're nothing.
Well,
you're nothing.
Yes.
I hate to say I identified with Djokovic, but I feel like, his tennis talents are comparable to my comedic talents.
Oh, boy.
No.
Wait a minute.
And no, but I liked how they were all rooting against him.
You both get heckled.
Completely. He's the reigning champ. He's a deserving champion.
Yes.
But they were all on Federer's dick.
Yeah.
And it didn't he didn't give a fuck. Like, it fueled him.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, okay, you don't want to treat me like a champion?
Yeah.
I'll fucking bury your champion.
I like that.
But that's
And
prejudice.
it broke his neck at the... No.
But people like a Swiss over Serbia. I don't know what it is, but come on, Yugoslavia, give me a break. I want those Swiss ladies, Alps,
Swiss Miss.
cheese.
Yeah.
I'm sure Eastern Europe is full of good-looking women, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, they're
definitely.
mostly sent over here in crates, but
Yeah.
still.
Not from the footage I've seen.
Yes. What is it? Taken.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's like 8 of those now.
So anyways.
I feel like in Taken 4, they should his daughter will probably be at this point doing porn just to get over her issues. Yeah. And he'll just have to get her out of porn for...
I never saw any of the
Just knocking
Takens.
cameras over.
Just see one.
All right,
after
yeah.
done.
And
Okay.
then-
So you're on spring break.
On
and,
spring
with,
break.
with Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, we were boys back then. And although he was in high school from Serbia, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to this chick from Texas. I'd say an 8, real busty, real like, I fingered her on the dance floor.
Oh, love that.
I know. Yeah.
You guys do a lot of fingering out in public. I've never fingered in public.
I'm not saying this proudly. I just feel like it's a decent story because of the way it ends.
All right.
But I'm just like, I'm super drunk. I was pounding Long Island iced teas like they were nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're walking and like and I was so drunk that I don't remember all of our conversation, but what she said stuck out. She passed by this black, fully black dude. Mm-hmm. And she then just turned to me and like we were in conversation. She says, I'm not a racist, but I just don't like black people.
Wow. That's the definition, I believe.
And then, and then I was just like, I was so mad at her for just saying it. I was like, 12 hours from now, I was never going to see you again.
Yeah,
Right.
You ruined it.
Yeah, I'm sure I may have hooked up with a racist chick sometime. I just didn't
Sure.
know.
Right.
I can't blame myself if I don't have that knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's just a few things I will never hook up with. It's a person in a relationship.
Yeah.
Oh,
Person,
really?
Yeah, never. I
Interesting.
just think it's just I don't want to be part of whatever they are doing.
Right.
Never hook up with anybody that a friend of mine's dated,
Yeah.
All right.
and never hook up with a racist.
Right.
And I just kind of like faded away, and she was hot, and we were having a nice time, and I was just like,
Oh,
I
so you
can't.
didn't fuck her?
I didn't.
But wouldn't you like to fuck her and
But I-
just give a pounder and then be like this? My dad's black, you piece of
But
shit.
you gotta realize, at this point in my life, I had one sexual partner.
Uh-huh.
So I was
What?
not. Yeah,
You?
I lost my virginity at 20 in college.
Wow.
I was gonna wait. I wanted to wait. I'm a nice Catholic kid, and I wanted to wait till marriage.
Wow.
And I kind of was pressured. I was in love with my girlfriend in college, but like, I was feeling the kind of pressure from her to have sex. But I really kind of wanted to wait till marriage, and so I didn't have kind of that. I'll show you.
Yeah.
I could barely show my girlfriend at that point.
Right.
So I was
Right.
like, I'd been intercourse active for a year. It wasn't like I was like, oh yeah,
Oh, I want you
ready
to.
for some mediocre
Oh,
sex,
man.
bitch.
See, I feel like if I was half black and nobody knew it, I'd like to fuck racist. Be like,
Yes.
"Hey, you piece of shit. How do you like that
That's
big
like-
black cock?"
It's like a superhero.
Yes.
You're like, she wakes up, you're like, you had that Haitian dick in you, baby.
I
Yes.
like this top quarter percentile beige cock.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Guns N' Roses. Big Guns N' Roses fan. They actually had the song "One in a Million."
My favorite band.
Oh, mine too. Well, that's not true. I don't know why I said that. I was trying to bond with you there, but top 10. But anyway, they had the 1 in a million.
Yeah.
And then there's an interview with Slash, and there's a whole verse where Axl says, police and N-words, and it goes on. It's very negative. And then there's an interview with Slash. He's like, well, yeah, I didn't really care for it. My mother's black. But how about you're at band practice and your leader comes in and he's like,
Right.
all right, here's the lyrics.
That's
This guy's mother's black.
It's a laid back guy.
But
Yeah.
are we still okay with the immigrants and faggots line? Yeah, no, we're good with that, Axel. Who gives a shit about that? Roll with it.
They make no sense to Axl.
But that song, what's so great about that, what's so incredible about that song is I think he was just being harsh. I don't think, like, for the lyrics, like, for the meaning of the song.
Right.
Like, it's almost in character.
Right.
But that song is amazing.
It's a great song. It's very catchy.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful song.
Yeah, they were great. Axel
So-
really fucked up.
Axl gets a pass to you.
I think you get. I'm okay because I think it was an artistic choice. He wasn't Kramer just going, wait, stop the song, and just yelling at somebody in the crowd.
See, Kramer gets a pass because he's bombing so hard. As a comedian, I'm like, you got to throw some stuff out there. Maybe not a pass.
Even Chris
but-
Rock said that. He said, "Can't a guy have a bad day?"
Yeah, and Chappelle had that joke too.
Yeah.
Remember Chappelle's joke was, he's like, that's when I realized I was more comedian than black. He's like, this guy's having a bad set.
Right.
My thing with Kramer though, that's the only time I've ever been, because I hate it when people get on comics for like rough material on
Yeah.
stage, because I'm like, the only time I've been like, even though I don't think Kramer should be fucking have his career ended, but I still think it was wrong.
Sure.
Because that was like out of like he had like, okay, the comedy portion's done now. Now I'm just yelling
Right.
slurs at you.
Yeah,
That's a
hanging
good point.
from a tree, all that
Whereas
shit.
like when
Yeah.
Daniel Tosh is talking about a woman getting raped, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
I know, it's just like it was an attempt at humor. Like if it's not good, then that's the end of
Right.
his crime.
I feel bad. I'm not defending Michael Richards, but I know what it's like to be on stage and you just want to yell. It reminds me, I told the story on the podcast before, but when I saw those Westboro church guys and they were protesting Michael Sam, and I was like, I fucking hate you, you pieces of shit, you fucking faggots. And then I was like, well, I just defeated my own purpose. But you want to just say the most hurtful thing to somebody,
Sure.
and sometimes it comes up. It's,
Yeah.
not, I mean, I've never had it come out where I call someone
Full
the N-word
circle.
12 times.
That was my parents. You
Yeah,
just go.
there you
That's
go.
why I don't. That's why I'm pretty easygoing with language, because I'm just like I've got a good radar, I think, for what people mean. Like I said, when I have somebody saying African American to me too much, I'm like, all right, you have issues. Why are you afraid to say
Yeah.
black? Like, what's
Right.
the problem?
Well, let me ask you that. Do we ever bother you? You're a listener. We've gotten in some hot water with a couple of people. Have we ever offended?
No.
All right.
Close? Have we come close?
Well, sometimes his politics veer a little to the
Well,
Too right.
too much
Yeah.
to the right for me.
I like a guy going to work. I'm all for working people.
I don't sit there going, you know what, unsubscribe.
Right.
I'm being.
But we're not
facetious.
offending.
No, not at all.
I will say I stick by my Halloween theory.
Oh, the Halloween theory.
You know,
The
these
famous
kids,
Halloween.
the kids who go from a bad neighborhood to a good neighborhood to trick or treat.
Yeah.
Fix your own neighborhood,
Yeah.
and then I know I sound like the blue-eyed devil.
These
here,
kids
but,
should just fix their neighborhood.
the parents.
Ah, the parents.
I mean, it's just bad news to be like, let's pack it up and move it along. So we're just gonna leave this place shit, and then mooch off someone else who worked hard to work on their neighborhood.
Oh boy.
What about if you're in a good neighborhood, but they leave a bucket of candy out and you take all of it?
Oh, I mean, I did that. Don't worry, I did that in my day.
I like Quinn talks about in his book. I'm going to just keep plugging Colin's book. He talks about, he's like, black people don't trust the government. They don't trust authority because all the laws were made without them being involved at all.
Right.
No involvement. Pretty funny. And then he goes, he talks about the African. He's like, when you ever get in a cab with like an African guy's driving the cab, it's always political radio. He's like, they listen to
Yeah.
politics because they know what happens if they don't listen. I'm bombing with Quinn's material, but it's a
I
great
wish
book.
I could do Jay Moore's impression of
Oh
Colin Quinn.
man,
That's
he
amazing.
nails that. He really nails that. Yeah,
Like that's as close as I get to Jay Moore's.
bombing over here. Yeah, I can't do it either.
What else is on that paper? Any other crazy
Wait a
stories
minute.
there?
Can't you do an
Oh, boy.
impression of List?
I was gonna wait. I don't.
Okay.
It's definitely captures the spirit, but I don't know how accurate it is.
All right,
God.
all right.
Although it always starts with me saying Mark, because it's like that. It's like when he says Mark, it's somewhere between Boston and New York. Like they're fighting each other.
Yeah, interesting.
I get Canadian a lot. People think I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
get
I'm-
New York.
Because you're so nice.
Well, people, I'm a nice guy and I'm white, and then my attempts to mask a Boston accent sound Canadian to people, evidently. Yeah.
You try to mask it.
I do because I want to sound like an idiot.
No, when you say saw,
I'd still add the R to non-R words. That's the part
Yeah.
I can't lose, like vodka,
right,
and
right,
brar.
brar.
Yeah.
You're
Take
adding that,
Take off that brar.
or is that natural?
That's how I can't not do it.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm not physically capable of not doing it.
It works with you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But you guys are making me feel like $100 over here.
Banned from a club. I have one club.
Oh,
banning
ooh,
story.
lay it on. Is this
We
like
love that.
a Big J thing?
No, it's. I was also acting in the defense of comedians, but not as directly as stepping in front of a fight.
Yeah.
I can name the club, right? It's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to
please.
you.
River Center Comedy Club in San Antonio.
Oh, I'm going to
Texas.
be there. I'm doing it in February.
I've heard nothing but bad things about that place.
Here's why you want to do River Center, because
right.
their sister club, I call it Brother Club because it's better and funnier,
Yeah.
is the LOL Club, which is terrific.
Oh, really?
Also in San Antonio.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Everything, it literally, if you compare them side to side, the LOL Club, owned by the same people, LOL Club, you get a hotel, you get free tickets to the movie theater next door,
Wow.
and the crowds are better, and the merch sells a lot better.
Gotcha.
By the way, I only believe in selling CDs. Mm-hmm. I got into trouble with your buddy Tom Dustin.
Oh,
the wall.
And I feel bad because when I've seen him a lot in Boston when I've been up there, very
Yeah.
friendly. But then I did a podcast with Andy Sanford and Kyle Plouffe, and it was about merch. And I was
Yeah.
just like, kind of a comedy discussion. And then he wrote me this really long message about like how badly he felt. And I don't know if it was like late at night, because he wasn't saying you're an asshole. He was like, yeah, sometimes when I sell these things, I feel like a real piece. And I was like, whoa, dude,
Oh, boy.
you're a good comic. I'm not. Do what you got to do. I wasn't
Yeah.
like calling you out in any way
Right,
individually.
He's sensitive about it.
I felt kind of bad because it wasn't like we were like, yeah, fuck Tom. It was like,
Right.
no, we all like
Oh,
Tom.
boy, yeah. He's a sensitive guy.
Yeah.
Wonderful comedian.
But okay, so the other club, Condo, the movie tickets they don't give you, even though it's next to a movie theater, because
Oh, wow.
some comic a long time ago was literally just like, hey, everybody I know, just say you're a comedian,
Wow.
and you get into the movie for
Oh,
free. So they
that's-
were like, we have 100 tickets this week for
Wow.
the comedians.
Thanks, Kirk Fox.
And so, okay, and the room isn't as good.
Right.
So other than that, they're pretty much even.
Yeah. I'm excited. Anywhere I'm going in February. Anywhere February, not Northeast.
And
I'm
you're in a
thrilled
nice.
to go.
It's by the Alamo, like it's right near the Alamo.
Oh, I
it's
remember
like,
that. Thank you.
So anyway, I get there and I'm working with a guy, Corey Rodriguez, who I think is a
I
Boston
know Corey,
guy.
yeah. C-Rod.
He's headlining. I'm featuring, and we're both in the Condo. And anyway, the face he just made.
Oh, no, I didn't make a face. No face. That's my listening face.
So we're sitting in the kitchen after the first show. My bag is in the room. Sitting in the kitchen in the first row, and I proceed to kill 4 cockroaches in the light.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. I've heard that about that place.
And so I'm going, okay, if these fucking blade of cockroaches are willing to come out into the light, what's
Right.
this place? Is going to turn into Temple of Doom when I turn out the
Yeah,
lights? And I'll
that's
just
horrible.
So I go into my room. I go, I can't stay here. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sleep.
Right.
Go to grab my bag. There's a roach crawling on my bag in the room.
Jesus.
God, I hate roaches.
So I flick that one off, and then I proceed to write at 9 in the morning the next night. I get a nice hotel, basically spending 2/3 of my weekly check
Yeah.
on the hotel, but a very nice hotel. And I read a blog, intentionally humorous, because I was like, in case people read this, I don't want to be like, fuck this club.
Right.
So I was like, love the club, great
Right.
staff, fun crowds,
Yeah.
good city. Funny thing though, killed 4 roaches in the daylight in this place, and I called them the blade of roaches because
Yeah.
I can walk in the light.
Right.
And very, very intentionally lighthearted, because I'm not afraid to write and put out stuff that'll hurt me, but I wasn't looking at, I was doing the opposite because I
Right.
like going down there. Well, a guy I have who stalks me, whose name I won't mention because I don't want you guys to get locked into his horse shit.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But we'll just call him Donald Noonan.
Okay.
All right.
He calls the club and says, I was going to, he gets a staffer on the phone, who doesn't know shit.
right.
So I'm not blaming him, but the guy says, I was going to come to your club tonight. But then I read the Feature Act's blog.
oh, boy.
And I can't believe you'd allow him to say those things about the club, so now I'm not coming. Now, of course, that makes no sense.
right.
You looked up the Feature Act, then read his blog,
Yeah.
Right.
were offended by him describing his living conditions, and then reported to the club. So it was this stalker guy, and then I got
Wow.
banned from both San Antonio clubs.
Oh, that sucks.
Which hurt.
Wow.
Yeah, they were like, that was classless. And I was like, classless? Classless is sticking me in that fucking condo.
Yeah.
Right.
Because once I realized I was like done, I was like, oh, well, fuck you.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
But it was I don't know. But I heard, and maybe you can confirm this in February, I heard that they either had or were switching to a hotel.
it's hotel now.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that I have to be the fucking Moses of
Yes.
San Antonio
Yeah.
comedy, but that's on me.
You took
Well,
the
we
hit.
appreciate it.
I'm just saying, I'll never work there again, just like Moses couldn't enter the promised land, but I have led my people there.
Right.
And that's one of those things where I'm like, I know people think I'm a dick, but 90% of the shit I write is usually pro-comedian. It
Right.
may be
Right.
anti-business or anti-industry, but it's always what's best for comedy and what's best for comedians, which is not always what's best for, no offense, like having certain TV personalities from the 80s headlining is not always the best thing for
sure.
the entertainment and
God.
art of comedy.
Yeah.
Similar to like treating, and it's not just a feature, the headliner staying at the shit spot also.
Yeah.
What kind of lack of respect is that?
Sure, yeah.
For the performer who's bringing in, who's giving you a reason to have the club. So basically, to quote Corolla, hero.
Yeah.
But
I think you'll be let back. You're like a Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Sure, you got kicked off that bus, but you're helping every other black woman.
That's Rosa Parks.
Who did I say?
Tubman.
the over skies railroad.
Yes.
The Southwest Delta
Rosa Parks.
Railroad.
Tubman was the
San Antonio.
Cincinnati. Right? That's the Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
That's in
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
Is that right?
They had a museum there. That's where the museum is. I went there one time, and it was
Rosa
very
Parks.
hot. It wasn't great.
Not a lot of ventilation underground.
No.
Yeah.
It was very steamy. Oh, hi, guys.
Hey.
Any trouble?
Oh boy, Rosa Parks. Sorry, we'll edit that. That looks bad. But yeah, you'll get back on that bus and you'll be sitting in the front, baby.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, it's funny because I look and I go, I actually had a few fans in San Antonio, which at my level, when you have like 78 fans nationwide.
That's huge.
Right.
And I say that jokingly, but I mean like, no, they're actually like a dozen people in half a dozen cities who like come to see me again, even if I'm a feature. But it's one of those things where I'm like, well, I guess I'll just bide my time until I'm doing theaters in San Antonio for those unfortunate 5 people.
Yeah, well,
That's what I have. One person, 2 people come out everywhere I go. It feels good.
It
but
feels nice.
great.
It's like 1,000 people.
Because if you're headlining a room like this guy and 200 people come up to you, you're like, oh, it's par for the course. But if you're there and it's like, holy shit, these 9 people,
Right.
like you can like remember them individually, and it still means something.
Well, I'm now friends with all of my fans. Frankie.
Do you ever find that weird when and I've had this happen on Facebook where you accept the friend request and you have a banter on a post, but then it becomes this kind of thing where they're kind of pushing a friendship
I
on you.
totally
Yeah.
have that. It's
And
killing
you
me.
go, what do you...
I don't have the time.
And it's like, we're not... You know what? We can have band, but we're not... Why are you asking me about your relationship or what you
Right.
should do with
Yeah.
it? And it's like...
I
don't
get
know
this
you
one
that well.
I get the hey dude, I'm a huge fan of your comedy. Could I send you some jokes and you tell me what you think? And I'm like, okay. And then I get back a page or two, and it's like, this is a lot of work.
Right.
I
And they're
gotta
like,
give you
don't have
notes.
to be so rude, Mark. We did fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was you.
Damn female comics. Yeah.
It's a tricky, salty, silly society now. Everyone has access to each other, and people can
Yeah.
write to you. It's very odd.
Social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah, the
stuff.
social media. It's interesting,
And
but
that
it's good.
It is, but it becomes a thing where it's like, do I go one step too far to preserve a fan?
Right.
Since they're
Right.
blurring the boundary?
Right.
The boundaries get blurred. But I think if I hit it big, I would quit. If I had like 10 million
yeah.
bucks, I'd be off of Twitter so fast.
Right.
I don't need it.
Right.
I appreciate people being like, it's hard because the people that say negative things mean so much more to you than the people that say positive things.
Yeah, it
I
sticks
get like
with you.
20 to 1 people being like, you're great, you're hilarious, we love you. We even get people being like, you made a difference in my life and you get me through work. But then there's that one that's just like, fuck you, you fucking nerd, you suck.
Yeah.
And it feels
Sorry
terrible.
about that.
Yeah.
I'll delete those tweets.
Appreciate it.
I get the guy who just writes, "Hey Norman, how goes it?" And I'm like, what do I write here? Do I write, "Oh man, I got laid last night, I'm having a great time," or do I just go, "Good"? And then he writes back, "What's good?" You're like, it's too much. It never ends.
It's the cable guy scenario.
Yes.
Where he's trying to be friendly and then he's made to feel awkward because he's not reciprocating enough friendliness.
Yes.
But then you do too much and it's like, we're buddies.
yeah.
One of the great movies of all time, if you ask me.
When
That's
the
a tremendous-
truth is found.
That karaoke performance should have gotten him an Oscar nomination.
Jesus
He's
Christ.
great in that movie. That movie should have been nominated for awards. It's a great script.
I think that was the first time I ever got angry at America's response to comedy because it was like a dark turn for him.
Right.
But I was like, you realize this is a much better movie than
Yeah.
The Mask or Ace Ventura. Like as a
Right.
movie, it's infinitely better.
No
Great
doubt about
movie.
it.
But people are like, it's a little too dark. We didn't like, and it's like but it's also super funny.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Young Jack Black was in it. Ben Stiller.
rock?
Yeah, good times. Shit, what was I going to ask you?
I want to know more about lawyering.
Whoa, wait a minute. I had to ask you one thing. We'll that too.
All right.
Well, maybe we can do lawyer first.
What was your thing? You
Well,
don't want you to lose it.
I saw you a post on Facebook. This might have been like a year ago, but you said you beat up 4 guys at a bar.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
always wanted to ask you about that because I love a good
Oh
fisticuff.
yeah, Roadhouse.
We love fights.
Well, I'm as is my habit of trying to defend diminutive women. I'm at this
Dominican?
bar, right? Well, that's a twofer. Diminutive Dominican is my favorite.
Yeah, D.
No, as I actually don't. I as a half Haitian, I can't like Dominicans. As my father once said to me of Dominicans, Dominicans, so stupid, darker than me, and don't think they're black.
Wow.
That was his summary of Dominicans. Look at David Ortiz. If he never said a fucking word, would you say clearly a Latin man?
No.
You'd be
Yeah.
like, that guy is fucking Michael Clark Duncan walking down
Right.
the street. That's a black dude. But I'm in this bar. It's a bar I like to go to, even though it's considered the douchiest bar in New York, Joshua Tree.
Where's that?
It's Murray Hill.
Okay.
Need I say more?
Yeah.
80s music. I usually go there with a buddy of mine. We've been going for it, but there was a bartender there who I would drink $200 worth between me and my friend, and the bill would be like 70. So
Nice.
cheap drinks, 80s music. I'd most of the time ignore what was going around. But I'm there watching with my then girlfriend Game 7 of the last time LeBron won the title. So I guess that was 2013.
Yeah.
And there's a guy giving the bartender who I know like a lot of shit, and he's a real douchebag. And he's going, she says, I need a card, because she's never seen him before. So she's like, I either need your card or you need to pay for the drinks now. Like, this isn't Cheers. I don't know you.
Right,
I've never
right.
seen you. I'm not just letting you have a tab.
Right.
And he's giving her a lot of shit, like starting to get aggressive. And she's like 5'2" blonde chick behind the bar, like small and just, there was like an aggressive posturing. And so he busts out like 100 and just like holds it to her and is like I've got the money.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I just thought, this is getting uncomfortable. The bouncers should already be over here kind of assessing the situation. So I said, hey, but it's, this is just how they do things at the bar. You either got to give your card or the money. It's no big deal. Just think I can maybe diffuse it a little.
Yeah.
So nothing's happening. He finally gets his change, and I'm watching the game with my lady, and then I hear, "Nah, man, fuck this guy." And I go, "Oh God!"
Right.
Oh,
And I look, and he's pointing at me. He goes, "Yeah, fuck you."
Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
So I stand up. I am not a fighter.
Really?
No.
Bronx born, half interracial.
It's partly, and the Irish part is the real fighter.
Sure.
Fighting Irish.
So I'm standing there, and I stand up. And I know that was kind of a threatening gesture.
Yeah.
I've joked to people, I'm like, I feel like I'm like North Korea. Like, I have nuclear capabilities. I don't know what to do with them, though.
Right.
So I stand up and I go, "Hey, man, what are you doing? Come on." But not in like a, "What are you doing?" It was more like a, "Hey."
Yeah.
There's no reason for hostilities. So he then grabs me.
What?
I know. The guy, he was feeling tough. And my brother once told me, he said, "Beware of people that want to fight you."
Uh-huh.
Because the average sane person will not just randomly go, "Hey, 6'7", 270, let's do this."
Yeah.
And
Is he big?
he's like 6 feet. Him and his buddies were probably in the 6 feet, 6'1" range.
Okay.
Not,
range.
Not 6 feet, probably.
Yeah.
All of them. And
The three of them?
There were 3 of them at the time. And they
That's
had
6
other
feet,
friends,
yeah.
but I didn't realize. So that's 18 feet versus 6'7".
Right.
All right. All right.
And he grabs me on the shirt, and then I just like I said, okay, I'm not letting him take a swing. I just grabbed him by the collar and hurled him to the ground.
Nice.
Like real Lenny of Mice and Men style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really what my fighting style is.
Uh-huh.
And then he shoots for my legs. His 2 friends grab my upper butt, like take an arm each. So now I'm off the ground.
Oh, my God.
Right. And my chick is screaming and like hitting one of them with some. She really should have probably taken a beer bottle and just done the old
Wow.
Wild Wild West thing.
Uh-huh.
So I go to the ground, and all I'm thinking of, and I've never had this before, the adrenaline must have been pumping so hard. I was literally thinking of the DA's office and sleeping in a jail cell that night, eating a bologna sandwich. I had like every thought of the criminal justice system running
Right.
through my head.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to hit this. I don't want to do any damage because I'm strong, but I'm not a fighter. So if I hit this guy or kick him or do something, he bumps his head on a table. Literally all this is flooding in
Right.
my head in like a matter of seconds.
Yeah, you know the inner workings.
So I just grab him by the collar, and since I had a better reach than him, I literally hold him back, kind of afraid his friends are going to start like pounding me on the head, but they don't because the bouncers are now here. And I just took the guy and threw his head into the bottom of the bar.
Oh, man.
And then just held him. Because all I was doing, I was not trying to like beat him down.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm not looking to get hurt.
Right.
And I just held him, and I literally didn't let go until the bouncer pulled him.
Wow.
And bartender let me stay, kicked everybody else out of that group, and Tab was on the house.
Hey!
Felt like a real hero.
Nice.
And then
Free Tab.
the worst part, and this inspired a joke of mine about black bouncers, how in this city, every white bouncer usually has to be some sort of like Thor-looking dude or an MMA expert, whereas you can just get a 5'10" chubby black bouncer.
That's true.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
just like, you make up for lack of athleticism and strength with racially stereotypical fear.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, people are
It's
terrified.
hilarious. And the bouncer is this like 5'11", chubby, happy dude. I get to the bar, we're leaving, and he goes, "Hey man, I'd be careful. They came back with like 6 guys looking for you."
Oh, my God.
What?
I know. And I was like, "What do you mean be careful? You're the line of defense, buddy."
Yeah.
And so I just walked and nothing happened. But I was nervous because once again, I was like, I'm not really afraid of getting, at the moment, I wasn't like afraid of getting hit, or I was just like, I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
And once again, it's not because I'm some like, I'm going to make them tap out. I'm no Louis J. Gomez.
Right.
Oh, the
But
real deal.
Who no one's ever seen in a fight, by the way.
Not since high school.
Yeah.
The only fight I remember, I listened to Legion of Skanks after, sorry to take a quick, this isn't going to be an insult to him. But
Too bad. I wish it was.
no, I'd heard Jay Okerson on What the Fuck many years ago, and it
Yeah.
was one of the best episodes I thought ever.
That's
Yeah.
a great one.
And so I was like, I got to listen to this guy's podcast. And then I was like, where's Jay? It's just this guy Lewis yelling.
That's his reputation.
The Puerto Rican rattlesnake.
But then we just I walked like 2 blocks away from Third because there's so many bars there they could have been hanging out, and I just got a cab on 34th and Park. But that was it. That was like, it was like a big fight, but no. I was playing like a very Floyd Mayweather, very defensive
Yes,
match,
right.
where I just wanted to like incapacitate the person
Right.
and not.
That's the way to do it. You're a gentleman.
But it was one of those things outside. I got very nervous, not because I was like, oh, they're going to hurt my girlfriend or they're going to hurt me, but I was like, I'll throw a fucker into traffic if it means me not getting hurt.
Sure.
Right.
And I'm afraid, like, it's like, oh, they've got 3 guys on me. Well, you're going in front of this cab,
Right.
and I'll let the fucking NYPD sort it out because you're not hurting me.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Don't get hurt, 1, and don't get in trouble, 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's what I hate about the fights is that aftermath. You can't just have a fight and go, all right, that's it. Like, I love in hockey when they just wail on each other and then they hug.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was just talking to my friend Derek about that. We got to wrap it up here because we got another pod coming in. But
right.
we were just talking about that. Like back in the day, in like the 70s, if you did you'd like hit your wife, and then like the wife's brother would come and find you and then knock you out.
Yeah.
And then the guy would be like, "I'll never touch her again." And then
he
their
talked to
relationship.
Barzini and hit you up at a toll booth.
Yes, and then their
Yes.
relationship goes on, and that's the end. But like now, if someone's cheating on his wife, and you're like, I'm gonna teach him a lesson. He comes back and kills you or whatever. There's no like get punched. I learned a lesson. It's all over now.
Yeah, then they search you on Facebook and they find you and they find where you work. It's all a whole thing, and they could sue you now. No one sued each other back then.
Yeah, don't sue.
And then you just throw all the wannabe MMA stars into the mix
Of
now,
course.
who are almost looking for a chance to.
Oh,
Yeah, but enough about Lewis.
Yeah.
all
I'd
right,
love to see him in a fight.
We gotta wrap up here. We're getting the signals. They're showing their testicles to us over there.
Hey, that one's not bad.
We got another pod. There's 5 of them.
I hope the listeners didn't hate this one.
No, I think they liked it.
This was action packed.
Yeah, that was it was packed with action.
We had a lot of different. We had the beach. We had law. We had Haisha. We had
It sounds like a skin
Bronx.
condition.
And we had a little everything. So
What do you want to plug there? What's the name of your pod and the Twitter, all that business?
Podcast, which also comes out on Tuesday. So if people want to have like a nice happy version and then go quickly to a sad version of this podcast, it's the Righteous Prick Podcast on iTunes. But everything is at jlcomedy.com.
Great.
You go to JL Comedy, you can find my Twitter, YouTube, my YouTube channel. I'm very active with a lot
Nice.
of good sketch videos there. So
I watched a couple of your
jlcomedy.com.
movie reviews. I got beef. We'll talk about it off air. I'm Joe List Comedy. You're JL Comedy.
That's right.
And you're Mark Norm.
Mark Norm. And check us out and leave a review and come see us live. All of us.
A positive review.
Can I say one thing? Sorry. On Twitter, it's JL Covan, JLCAUVIN. Just so there's no confusion. They're not following that asshole JL Comedy on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's just the website.
All right.
All right, keep it real. Stay half black, everybody.
Take it easy.